Hey guys, happy Friday. Thanks for stopping by for another episode here at alliseeisW, where we talk about stocks, crypto, and finance. In today's video, we'll be doing a deep dive analysis. I'll be sharing with you the latest updates with Opendoor Technologies, ticker Open. We've been hearing a lot of news about this company. There's been a big open army where there's a lot of market sentiment volume traded with this Opendoor stock. Now, most of you are wondering how high can open go? Is now the time to buy, sell, or hold? What's the price prediction as we head into the, upcoming weeks, months, and through the rest of 2025, as well as a long-term perspective? I'll go through all of those details using technical analysis, as well as sharing the latest updates we're seeing with Opendoor. Now, if you're new to this channel and you're part of the Open Door Army, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content. Let's get started, guys. Let's first off take a look at Open Door and see how their business works. So they basically have an online user interface. This really allows for customers to go online to look to see whether they want to sell or buy their home, and it really shows how a seller can work with a preferred agent that Opendoor would recommend, or a seller has the ability to also sell to Opendoor Technologies, for cash. This can all be done just through working with Opendoor, simply by providing an offer, entering the address, confirming the home details, and then just providing more details about the home and the timeline. And once that's done, then there will be information that the company will connect with you on. And one of the unique things is getting to an open door final offer. One, show us your home, send us videos, or do a live walkthrough. We'll also examine the home's exterior and look inside. It takes about 30 minutes. Two, we'll review the details, and that's when the offer happens within a few days, as well as giving you data analytics on similar home sales as well as market data. If homes are sitting on the market longer than usual, they account for that risk with the estimate as well. So depending on the location, if it's in a hot spot, of course, price would be relative to, where the location is. Also, like let's say if you want to buy a home, you're buying without bidding, and it can be very stressful to go to places, bid with a realtor. This allows you to browse, self-tour, open door, own homes, and actually buy the home that you love online. So, you could, do this on your own schedule, have self-tours. You can skip bidding and pay one simple price and save thousands compared to, list price. So that's definitely huge, especially for those who don't want to work with a realtor. Now, when it comes to selling a home, Opendoor charges a flat fee of 5%, much better than, a realtor. So, with the user interface, you can find homes, unlock the door with your phone, and, buy it from, Opendoor and skip the bidding wars. So you can also work with the team, get one-on-one support. And, when you look at the different home options, it really cater towards the location that you're based out of. And let's just click on this one example. It gives you like details of the home, the schools, the price, similar listings, and gives you like an overview of how things look inside. So very easy, intuitive user interface, and I'm sure that it will just continue to, improve. Let's take a look at Open Door News. He's saying, let's take a look at Open versus its competitors and take a deeper look at how we are looking. Open versus competitors, profits, break down why it matters. One, Open Door just posted 23 million adjusted EBITDA last quarter. That's its first positive quarter since 2022, even while GAAP net income was minus 29 million. Big shift from meme stock to a company showing operating leverage and a true business fundamentals. We're not bullish enough. Antonio posts his open hourly daily time frame is getting strong and stronger, in my honest opinion. For a day's red market, it was a great close. Stock is now out off the descending channel but well above the major support. What are we seeing? We have this bull flag drawn out. At one point on Wednesday, it was testing close to $4, and Thursday and Friday, it had a nice move up. So we're breaking out of this bull flag, and it's only a matter of time where we gap up. Relative strength has cooled down since that run up top, $5.80. So now that RSI has cooled off, we're just, stepping up to the next leg up. Carp God posts the open story just went from 0 to 100 this month. This could be a 100x from the lows of 56 cents by the end of this year. That's $56 by end of year, folks. You heard it here first, but we need Rabois on the board by Tuesday next week, like Eric Jackson said. So definitely very bullish where we are right now in the mid $4. I think there's going to be so much more upside as we head through the rest of 2025. Stonks for Life posts, when I first saw Eric Jackson, I thought he was a desperate, hedge fund manager. But now that I've looked into what he's doing, it's bigger than a hedge fund. He wants to be the leader of the retail investors, and I'm completely fine with that because the roaring kitty just hides. When you think about it, I think we should all give thanks to Eric Jackson. He's doing so much for the community. He's really building onto that fan base. A lot of people are really liking the use case for Open Army, along with the company. In terms of its fundamentals and the technicals. I mean, there's been so much volume of investors, traders, really, buying, Open. In fact, it was a top three stock, and just with the last couple of weeks, that tells you something if it's like right behind Nvidia and Tesla stock. Eric Jackson posts, dude, some Wall Street guy wants to fly out there with me to do a Korean tour specifically about Open. He said there's massive interest in the company. So, bro, get the Koreans on this. I'm not kidding. They help pump Tesla and Palantir and crypto. Wilson in the Open investors community. If you're an open bull, I would highly recommend joining the open investors community. He's saying Open Doors interim CEO has started buying stocks. The board members have also canceled their stock sales. Now the interests of the board and retail investors are aligned. We are all participating in the long-term opportunities of Open. Actions speak louder than words. I am personally buying more stocks, and the entire management team has canceled their, 10b5 one sell plans, and that's with Trisha yesterday announcing that he spent like close to 150,000 buying more open stocks. So that shows his conviction with where he sees the company and his goal to take this company to the next path forward. Wilson also posts, I am going to sleep. Wake me up when Open hits $82. Now, I'd love to hear what your perspective is, how high you think Open can go. Can it go to $82 this year, or is that going to be next year, the following year? Wake me up. We'll hibernate right now. Long term, we will all be winning. Let's take a look at technical analysis, before we, listen to Eric Jackson's day 10 video at Drake's house. So right now, just looking at the daily candle, we saw some consolidation from that run up top, getting close to that $6 this week. It had a pullback. However, with Thursday and Friday, even though today was a bad market, cryptos and stocks, most stocks were in the red. Open ended the day, in, gaining 4%. So that definitely is a good thing. On Wednesday, it dropped by 14%. Yesterday, it had a nice push up 6%. Today, 4%. So kind of, got back what it lost on Wednesday, but this is only a matter of time. It will just consolidate at this prior resistance support around the $4. It's only going to be a matter of time. I think that as we head into the month of September, getting into that $6 to $10 range is definitely possible. There's opportunity upside. Relative strength is in the 64. Any volume increase could definitely shoot the price up, to new levels. As we scale out, I could definitely see, Opendoor Technology, whether it's this year, the following year. First, we're going to get to the $60, and we may very well see the company stock get into triple digits at one point. We've heard the use case with Tesla, Tom Lee, interviewing with Amit. He's even talked about Opendoor, comparing it to Tesla as well. So, we've seen Palantir get ridiculed by, Inverse Kramer when it was like at $6, called it a meme stock. What has happened since? Palantir, Tesla has become like giants right now, one of the top companies out there. And is Opendoor a company that is positioned to mature and become accretive over time and add shareholder value? So I think we're at an early state where we're going to see something great coming out from this company.
Hey, after dark, day 10 at drinks. We here. This is was a big day for open shareholders, the open army. Yesterday we got word that Trisha, the interim CEO, bought $140,000 worth of open stock on the open market, something we've been calling for a long time. Not only that, he canceled the dreaded 10b5-1 plans, which allowed all the insiders on the management team to dump their shares on retail investors, something that just disgusted us over the last little while. So we just want to say thanks for everyone's support. Love you, and talk to you soon.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed another episode at All I See Is W. If you did, I would really appreciate you putting in the comments how high you think Opendoor can go, what your perspective is, and where you're watching from. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe to All I See Is W. Thanks, guys.